Alright everyone, we are back for round 3 of today's Star City Games Invitational Qualifier live from the CharCon Gaming Convention in Charleston, West Virginia. For those of you just joining us, we have previously watched 2 rounds of the exact same matchup due to poor planning on my part, as we watched 2 Golgari Zombies decks face off against 2 Is It Control decks. I can guarantee you we do not have an Is It Control deck on the camera this time. On the left, we have Paul Bielema. B-I-E-L-E-M.
Yeah.
And he is playing, what is he playing here? He's playing some kind of Gemmed Aggro list, or what is it? Is it Rakdos Zombies? What is it?
I don't see...
It's Rakdos.
It's Rakdos
Aggro. So it's not a zombie tribal deck by any means. It's just a lot of very aggressive Rakdos cards, including Hell Riders. On the right,
and Vexing Devil.
It's Kenny Hughes, right?
Yeah.
Kenny Hughes is on the left, playing
Beast Go Move Bark.
Yeah, that's what he calls it. It is a good stuff deck. So, round 3 begins here. Both of these players are undefeated. We do have 2 2-0 players for you. So, for those of you who stuck with us, we appreciate that. For those of you who went away, shame on you. My name is Zachary Evans. I'm joined by Adam Vickers. We're bringing you non-stop coverage of this wonderful Star City Games Lost Legion CharCon event. I'm going to do one round summary, maybe an FNM where I talk the entire round as like a game show announcer.
Oh yeah.
If you're signed up for the next major tournament, please come up to the front.
I wouldn't mind doing one by talking my voice like this, but nobody would watch it.
I wouldn't even sit next to you. It's not a matter of whether you're watching or not. Would I even allow you in the building?
Or pronounce it the worst, like he played a swamp and planked it for black mana.
Yeah, so I watched one. There's another stream that I watched. I don't know why there's clapping out there, as we were somewhat slightly you're going to have to go to Facebook after the fact and look at the pictures. We have a pretty sweet setup here in terms of our logistics. We have our own little booth cordoned off here, so we are a little bit out of the loop. So I don't know why everyone was clapping at that. But what I do know is that Kenny is mulliganing to 6 cards, and I believe he has found 6 that he likes. So off to the races we go.
Nice Stormcloak Noble. I really like that card, and I don't think a lot of people still play that much, but or it can't be blocked by humans. I think that comes into play quite a bit.
It's a very aggressive card, and it's there's just not a lot of there's a lot of playable 1-drops, but people forget about that one. Pillar of Flame answers it, so it doesn't really matter. But first appearance of Ashes Element on this stream. A very aggressive card. Something that red aggro decks have been wanting for a long time is a 2-drop haste. Yeah, it's First Strike.
First Strike doesn't hurt it, no.
It's not a bad magic card.
And it gets
Dreadboard. So Kenny's answering all the pressure here, but he is
not putting any pressure.
No, he was on the mulligan to 6. Let's see the Rakdos Cackler out of Paul. Another pillar. All answers all the time. Kenny down to 2 cards in hand, however. Hell Rider. There's the appearance of the Hell Rider. So he's going to take 3 off of the attack and 1 off the trigger. Dropping him to 14. Not exactly where Paul wants to be at this point, but oh man. It was a pretty good 6 cards Kenny kept as he goes back up to 19.
I love blue card, Drag Tusk.
Drag Tusk is a pretty impressive magic card.
Which I'm so spoiled I can't play it unless I play a Restoration Aggro with it.
Well, that's the ultimate. That's the ultimate blowout, isn't it? That's the.
I think it's pretty much almost the best two cards you can play together. Well, Cameo and Jade, but Restoration Angel and Rakdos are pretty good.
They are indeed.
And now it gets full of Dreadboard. That's a pretty good answer to the Rakdos. Even just a 3/3 beast.
Is Kenny just down to one card now?
I think he had 2 before the draw. Maybe on 3 right now.
Let's check them
Maybe
quickly. I think
2.
one's a mountain.
One's a
Nope,
mortar.
no one's missing Mortars. So, Mortars answers the Hell Rider, and he pounds in there.
So he is down to 1 now.
But he's way ahead on board. Not way ahead, he's the only
Oh,
person got presence.
He's got 1.
And this is just the case with these Jun decks. I mean, as the game goes longer, every card off the top of Kenny's deck is just going to have more raw power than...
Yeah. Well, I mean, I believe every creature in it is almost a 2-for-1, except for Olivia.
Draws a land off the top. Tap Blood Crypt comes down. So now it's the question of whose deck would be kinder to them. No response out of fall, so he's running out of gas here. Looks like a Huntmaster. So this is a pretty rough matchup for the aggro deck. With all that inherently 4th Rakdos and 4. Is he playing 4th Rakdos and 4?
There's 4th Rakdos, 4 Olivia, yeah, 4 Huntmasters, 4 pretty much everything in the upper range.
See a Vexing Devil come down. He's just going to kill and sever.
If you're interested in trying the next Invitational game, we'll be back with the demo area for sure. Thanks.
And again, we apologize for the announcements that you will inevitably hear over the course of the evening, as we are live at CharCon in the middle of the gaming hall. So we are only one of many activities going on currently.
I think Kenny has another Huntmaster in his hand.
So we see a Brimstone Volley take up the Beast token, and I believe that's a Rakdos keyrune. All the keyrune art looks very similar, so it's very difficult.
I believe that is Rakdos, because I think that is the best one to play.
So all of these late game Vexing Devils just turn into
Flame Rift?
Flame Javelin was what I was looking
Yeah,
for.
Flame Rift, okay.
So keyrune animates and pounds in. Dropping 3. 12.
I think that's probably my favorite keyrune.
3-1 first strike.
Yeah. I think they'd have to do something big on the next one for the change one.
So we see a Borderland Ranger come down.
And then Kenny mounted.
A John Avon Zendikar full art mountain.
Oh.
What's that noise? It's like
I guess it was just like,
it's like a drunk Chewbacca.
Yeah.
So serves in for 5.
And that's
Finish him
game.
off with. Did he
Double
cast all
pillar.
4 of his Pillars of Flame?
I would think so, or 3 at least. 3 at the least.
It was for those of you who watched our coverage of West Virginia State Magic Championships last weekend, you'll know that Jun came in 2nd place in a very close 2-1 win, or 2-1 loss, I should say. But I've mentioned it before. I honestly think that Jun deck is probably the best deck in the tournament.
Can you put the range? I think it has the most options as color teams go, especially tri-color. What you can do. You can be mid-range, zombies.
Yeah, we talked about this during the States coverage too. It's just that point in Magic where the mana base is so flexible now. Well, that you can basically play whatever you want to. So, and there's not very a lot of linear decks. I mean, for every one deck like Zombies, which was fighting the game on one very specific front, you have all these other decks like the Jund deck, which is just all the good cards in those colors jammed into one deck. There's no synergy here other than the fact that they're all good cards on their own. Even the control decks are a certain bit like that. It's not that they're, it's not like the old blue-white decks that kind of played off each other's colors. You're now playing Grixis, you're playing Izzet, you're playing red, white, and blue. It's just because you're just picking whatever the best cards are at the time to try.
And then the next set's just going to elaborate upon that even more. And I can't wait because I love some blue-black.
For those of you watching, we appreciate your patronage, obviously. If you can do us a favor, you can spread the word a little bit. Obviously, we're up against it today as we are competing with not only a Star City Standard Open in Indianapolis, but also the coverage of Pro Tour Return to Ravnica in Seattle.
Which I'm sure you could watch all three of them at one time. No excuse.
I'm going to tell you something right now, and this is not to say that we're necessarily any better at some points, but the Pro Tour coverage focuses a lot more on who's in the seats playing the decks than the actual decks themselves.
True.
I watched a little bit yesterday, and it was Jund mirror matches, and it was just not. There are some very cool decks in Modern, and they're not on the camera. So if there is one particular deck that you're not looking forward to watching play a 15-minute round on the Pro Tour coverage, obviously that one over here. But if you are following us on Twitter, if you could retweet. I make a post for every round matchup. You could repost the round 3 one, or if you could post on your Facebook page, or just open your window and scream it out into the neighborhood. That works too.
It does.
I can do that. Paint it on your chest and run through a shopping center or something like that. Whatever works. You just give back. It doesn't cost you anything. No. Have we ever asked for money? No. Will we ever ask for money? I don't know. But
we did
if you could help us with that. Yes, Adam did request some pizza. Did not even need it to be hot. So, but one thing I will mention here, as Kenny does finish sideboarding, well, we could talk about sideboards, I guess. But one thing I will mention is, as part of this, we are giving away. I was just pointed out this. We are giving away 2 passes for 1 month of free Star City Games premium coverage. We will give those out later on, but I will admit that I will not give these out until there are at least 30 people watching this stream. Seems
10 more people.
Seems
9 more. As soon as you said that, we got 1 more.
We topped off at 40 previously. So if you would like to earn yourself a free month of Star City premium coverage, if you would like to read all of their high-end strategy articles and watch all their playtesting videos, spread the word.
I mean, and Kenny, he was a very good player. I think he got 36 at that last Open. It was top.
Kenny Hughes is one of our local ringers. You could say that he has won almost all of the. He's won all of the Grand Prix trials we've had in the last few.
He's
with John.
A couple of states.
Yeah, he's a former state champion.
Yeah.
2009 or 2010. I don't know.
The 2-timer.
Mm-hmm. But he has won. If you go to the state's websites, he's one of those headshots. So, anyway. Spread the word, and we'll give you away some freebies. Back to the game, we see not one but 2 strong Curtain Nobles make an appearance. They do not die immediately, much different than last game. We see Kenny ramping his mana and fetching out.
So you can just uproot that bonfire.
Or cast his Huntmaster in the bells.
Yeah, that would work, I guess.
He did get a second black source. That's it. Because he doesn't have blood crypt in there.
The Huntmaster won't be able to block.
Because it is a human.
Yep.
Unflipped, it is a human. So one of those strong Curtain Nobles now out of pillar range, both still in mortar range. So what does Kenny have on 4? See Dragon Skull Summon in his hand. Sever the Bloodline would be very good right here.
That would be pretty good. Very top shelf play.
He's not casting that. Looks like a Bloodline Ranger. No, he's just
ramping.
Yeah. So a lot of seems like a lot of uncastable cards in Kenny's hand.
I think he might want to go for a Roommate Dragon.
He's going for he would love. Yeah. For those of you who know Kenny Hughes, he would love to go for a Roommate Dragon. Maybe a Bloodbraid into Lightning.
Yeah, I would love a Roommate and Makeshift Mannequin was my favorite thing to do.
It doesn't matter what format it is, but Kenny finds his way into a Jund build if he can. But right now he's up against it, facing down a 3-3 and a 2-2 strong Curtain Noble with nothing on board and his opponent with a billion cards in hand.
I think Kenny does have a orders in his hand, though.
Or he can blow him out next turn. The question here is if Paul plays anything into it, or does he just sit on these?
I think he just sits on it.
And if he has Brimstone Ball in his hand too, that's a pretty big.
Hopefully, if he is sitting on any cards and try to play them, we can see that on camera and he'll be disqualified because you should not be playing cards that are not in your hand. If you're sitting in
And I'm taking the sitting on very literally there. But we do see, as expected.
Yeah.
It's like that. How good am I? I mean, let's just. Did we talk about that?
I think
called
so.
that.
But I called that one play.
You called it, but then I called it.
No, but I called.
Double call.
No, one game I called another play. That's pretty good, like a Rakdos or something.
Yeah. So we see a Vexing Devil. You almost have to leave it as a creature, right?
I mean, yeah, you
can't go down to
afford
two. I can't see what Paul has in his hand, but he's in a very good spot here. He does not.
So
have.
Huntmaster would be good.
So we see a Rakdos. Rakdos, I hate. As a guy, I talked about it before on the stream. Anyone who knows me personally knows that I like red cards. Rakdos is a card
Does not like red cards.
So sad.
Rakdos does not like red cards.
So sad. So we see another Vexing Devil. A very interesting choice in using the Vexing Devils in this deck. They basically just work like Flame Javelins.
Yeah.
But still, Flame Javelin is very good. If Flame Javelin costs 1, it would be played in all formats.
But it costs 6.
What do we see there? He attacked in and then traded with the token with the Sever.
I believe so.
Which doesn't matter. He has Thrag Tusks for days. Thrag Tusks for days. Remember, giving away 1 month premium Star City membership, but only after we get 30 people watching.
We're 7 away right now. Getting closer.
7 away. If you're watching on YouTube after the fact, I'm sorry, you are ineligible.
Yeah. You can try.
You are eligible.
But they're already being
You are
given
eligible
away.
for our other giveaways.
Why supplies last?
While supplies last. I have 2 of them. Give out 1 this round and one in the top 8.
And that's an Olivia.
Olivia on there, and we'll take the game over. First by eating the Stromkirk Noble. This game is in Paul's Hellbent, isn't he?
Yeah. And not for leather. He's just Hellbent.
This, oh man. This has got to be a pretty bad matchup for him anyway, as we see Olivia pounded for 4. That Olivia is one of the best control creatures
When I played her, she would just get O-ringed, and just everybody had an answer for her, but I think there might be less answers now.
There's a lot more aggressive decks now.
Yeah.
And the ones that are, the control decks are not really playing spot removal like they have.
I think somebody asked how many rounds before we cut. I think 2 more. There's 5 rounds of Swiss, and then they cut the top 8.
5 rounds?
Yeah.
5 rounds. So we have 2 more rounds after this. I'll tell you what something you should be doing, Adam, is figuring out what we want to do to kill 30 minutes worth of time. This looks to be over pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, this is game 2, isn't it?
Game 2.
Oh, well then.
Well, regardless of Kenny's got the better part of it in this game, but to be fair, even if this was leaning towards Paul, the games would be over quickly. Because Paul's played well. It's just a matter of you can't beat 10. You can't beat two Rakdos back to back.
No, and then Olivia.
And just for the rub-ins, what card is in Kenny's hand? With the third Rakdos. This is the point where, because I am not a bad sport, I would just scoop the cards and put magic.
Throw your deck across the table, or rip up Kenny. You could buy Rakdos, carry them around with you. So when you played somebody and they beat you with it, you could rip their Rakdos up and just be like, here you go, here's another one.
Did he draw the 4th one?
So Kenny doubled his life.
Kenny Hughes. He still had all these guys.
Kenny Rakdos
Hughes with a seemingly endless stream of Rakdos off the top of his deck. So congratulations to Kenny. He moves to 3-0 in a very good position as we have 2 rounds left before we cut to the top 8. A good showing by Paul. Probably would have won that second game had Kenny not drawn every Rakdos in his deck. So very interesting deck there. We didn't get to talk about it that much, but we will mention it now that we have a little bit of time. He was playing the full complement of Ash Zealots, Rakdos Cacklers. He was playing 3 Falkenrath Aristocrats, which we didn't see. That's one thing that I like to see in the Gen Zombies list, because it does give him the extra reach. Invasion is very important. He was playing all the Vexen Devils, 2 Hell Riders, 2 Warhouse Chainwalkers. So you're familiar with that card? No. Let's bring it up. It is a 3-2. Basically, it's a 3-2 for 2 at the end of the day.
Okay, yeah. They can't block or...
Well, if you unleash it. So, we will bring up the Warhouse Chainwalker here. We did not see it make its appearance, but
that's a fine card.
A 3-power creature for 2 is definitely something that an aggressive deck like Paul's looks for. And he rounds it out with a couple copies of Mizzou Mortar. Oh, that's Kenny. A couple copies of Pillar of Flame, a couple copies of Rakdos Charm, a Traitorous Bloodmane, Sever the Bloodline. Is Market Mutiny is legal, right? They reprinted that in 13, right? So you've got Traitorous Instinct, Traitorous Blood, and Market Mutiny. All 3 threatened effects are still...
What you think? Would the Shred Freak be better than the Chainwalker just because of the haste?
It might be, yeah. I don't know, they're both pretty good. Kind of clogs up your 2 spot there, but... Well, anyway... while we got a chance here, I'd like to take a minute and thank our sponsor, Lost Legion Games and Comics, specializing in not just Magic, but
everything you can find here at CharCon.
Everything you can find at CharCon. All things geek, miniatures, comic books,
board games,
other card games, sodas,
chips,
those little danishes you get from Walmart.
Yeah. JB Roberts.
You
find him there, yeah.
You find him there. One of the only locations in the world that have JB Roberts.
Yeah, JB Roberts will be there.
But all joking aside, they do let us stream their Friday Night Magic every week. We are getting some very interesting behavior out of the camera there. Thanks, man. But we do have, for those of you who are just joining us who have not been familiar with our streams in the past, we do stream Friday Night Magic from Lost Legion. Usually a standard tournament every Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Go to twitch.tv/ZachSellsMagic for more information. So we definitely appreciate Lost Legion. They are one of the major vendors here. They are the oldest sponsor of CharCon, I found out. They are running all the Magic events here. And we look for big things out of Lost Legion in the future. We are trying to, or not we I should say, but they are trying to up their game in terms of the number of high-tier events they do like this. They wanted to do not just one SCG event every year. They would like to do, talk about up to 3
they
or 4.
also do quite a few
Grand Prix trials. Yeah, some other stuff. So, well done, Kenny. Kenny, you want to come in here and talk about your deck? We got time to kill.
Come in the middle, or
I don't know if we got room for middle. Do you want to talk? You can talk to him. I can take a break.
No, I can. I was going to let him sit, and I was going to take a knee.
So, congratulations, Kenny Hughes. Kenny Thragtus Hughes is what we're going to call you from now on.
There's only 4.
Can I correct me if I'm wrong, but did you also, the last card you draw was the 4th Thragtus?
It was the 4th Thragtus.
Because we were talking about how this is a pretty bad matchup for his deck in general, because you just have so much main deck life gain.
Yeah,
but it's even worse when you draw literally every card in your deck that could. You played 4 Thragtus and 1 Wolf.
And then the first game, 3 Pillars of Flame.
And Dreadboard.
Yeah, and Dreadboard, yeah.
They multiple pretty good 6 in the first game.
Yeah.
But let's talk. I mean, this Magic is the way it goes. It's a bad matchup for him anyway. So not unusual that would end up here. But let's talk about this deck of yours. Basically just a John Good Stuff deck. You do have some weird name here that you called it that I'm not going to try to repeat because I don't know.
Oh, you got to. It's Misko Mubar.
Yeah, I pronounced it. That's why I said you were playing.
Yeah, it's Misko Mubar.
Is there a backstory there you'd like to share with our viewer?
I don't know if you know. Oh, is there one?
No, there's like 27.
But
add
yeah,
20 to that.
Moose, plural of moose, is of course meese,
okay.
and the noise they make is a moo bark.
Okay.
It's like between a hiss of a snake, a bark of a dog, and a moo of a cow.
And is this in? Is this?
I guess you can YouTube that, or would you like to demonstrate?
Oh no, not at all. I don't think you can YouTube it either.
I don't think we have the bandwidth for that.
Came straight from up here.
Human ears not here.
Is that an homage to the Rakdos in particular, or just a
Oh
fun
no,
thing?
that was the name of the blue light red miracle deck I
We did
played.
have an interesting occurrence at the Estates tournament where some of the a lot of the players from the Morgantown shop, Four Horsemen Games and Comics, they all put the same deck name, even though they were all different archetypes. So they all called it the Briar Pack. And in one round, someone playing Briar Pack was playing Esper Tokens. The next round, someone playing Briar Pack was playing Red, White, Blue Miracles.
Okay.
So I quickly stopped using Briar Pack.
I mean, it's pretty much like I've been naming my deck that whatever I play. For a long time, I named it Gladiator Beast because that was, like my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh deck. It was really the only control deck in Yu-Gi-Oh. So
I know nothing about Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
We are not going to denigrate this podcast.
I don't know much about Yu-Gi-Oh
JB
either.
has almost made me play with the Yu-Gi-Oh players because
Adam
I'm so
Vickers has
loud.
been, he's
has been
almost
a
had to play
threat to
Yu-Gi-Oh
me.
because according to JB, it was our shop manager, our beloved shop manager, and current TO of this event, that if you play at a Magic at a volume of certain height, you do then get downgraded to Yu-Gi-Oh.
I'm walking that razor's edge.
You're walking that on just day-to-day basis, whether or not that
You're not even playing Magic and you're just loud.
he is loud. Adam Vickers is a loud guy.
Thank you.
But that's how you're an internet celebrity. So let's talk a little bit here about the specific decks. We already talked about the infamous Thrag Tuscan Huntmaster package. You are playing all four of those. You are playing you're playing all four Olympians.
Yeah.
Very
She's
interesting.
been really insane.
She's very good. We saw, like I said, we talked to you earlier. I don't know if you watched all of the stage coverage, but second place was a jug deck. Actually had to mold a 5 on the play in the final game.
Oh, John Tata?
Yeah, John Tata. So I thought I mentioned multiple times, but I thought that was the best deck in the room. But,
I do too.
But yeah, Olivia's, it just takes over.
It takes, I took a Falcon Wrath Aristocrat in round 2. That was huge. I didn't realize it at first, and then because I'm still new to playing the deck, and I'm like, that can take Falcon Wraths, it can take Stormkirks, it can take Blood Artists.
If they're playing a vampire deck, they're screwed.
Yeah.
But you just took their old deck.
Well, I mean, he had Stormkirk Nobles, and the guy that I played in round 2 had Falcon Wraths and Blood Artists, so I was able to take it.
Bring up, feel free to keep talking about it.
It's so good because once they get it pumped up to like a 5/5, you're just like, well, I guess I'll just take this for 5 mana.
Well, Olivia has one of the, as we switch back to the other camera so that I can bring up the Olivia. What you're talking about is the fact that it's usually a 2-part ability where you ping it, turn it to a vampire, and steal it. But as you say, if it's already a vampire, it's
it's just 5 mana, you get it.
Yeah, so go right after it there. But what I love about Olivia is like a perfect, first of all, it costs 4. I always think it costs 5, but it costs 4. So it's very well costed. It's evasive. It has 3 power, so it's a good win condition. It's a good card against aggro. It's a good card against control. It just does everything.
Well, yeah,
it's
it's fantastic.
And your deck ramps so fast that you get to the point where you can cast it and activate it usually the same turn. Or at the end of the game, you can just untap and just machine gun everything. Let alone steal. I believe in the States coverage, if you go back, it was round 7 that went it in. Vince Smith playing green-white. Andrew Faulkner stole Armada Worm with it. But that's just the power you have. And it's as long as you control Olivia, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you do get rid of Olivia, but nobody's playing Olivia.
No, it's so difficult for people to get rid of her after she has a certain toughness.
Not good enough, I don't think. I mean, you have Dreadwood, that's probably the best.
Yeah, Ultimate Price doesn't hit her, and that's
I don't
the
think
other
Ultimate
good
Price is playable.
Victor,
Maybe it's like a 1-up. Are you playing it?
Oh, I'm playing 3.
In the main deck?
Promise.
Well, I mean, you don't have what else?
You are playing 3 Ultimate Price. Why are you doing that?
Dude, it's good. I mean, the only thing it's bad against is multicolored cards, so obviously.
Well, there's a lot of. I guess it just depends. For the States coverage, there was a ton of green-white. It was like literally green-white.
Fair.
But I guess it does answer. I mean, it does kill things like it kills Rakdos, it kills messages.
Can kill the zombie cards, but
that's not really.
control.
That's not where you really want to fight that battle anyway. But
it kills angel tokens off Entreat.
But you are playing a 4 Pillar of Flame, which seems to be like the ideal removal spell in this format. That card answers things that you have trouble with, which are the aggro cards and the continuous card advantage of the zombie deck. You're playing 3 Rakdos Key Rune, which we were talking about is probably the best Key Rune in terms of winning the game. They all ramp fine.
I mean, it's even defensive as well.
Yeah,
so the first strike.
3/1 first strike. Basically, even if it's just a defender, it's still a good
I even had
call.
fun. The pre-release, I scavenged Dawntalon and made it a 5/3 first striker, and it was pretty good.
Just finish out your main deck here. You are playing the 4 Farseek, which is standard. 2 Sever the Bloodline, which I think is probably the premier removal spell in terms of being unconditional. exiling it, and you can flash it back in your deck, especially if you can flash it back.
Yeah, it's pretty easy actually.
Yeah.
There were bonfires in the main yesterday. I cut it. I hated playing with it last night's episode.
Bonfires was very good.
Yeah, I think that's better.
Bonfires were very good in a standard environment where you were killing mana dorks, and you were killing like 2/2s and 3/2s, you know.
Right.
But you're just not getting the value off of it now.
Well, I think
it doesn't do anything to zombies. It just falls
mortars
a turn.
can
Yeah,
around too. You know, with bonfire you have to miracle.
Yeah, you can draw Mizzy Mortars and not be upset about it.
There were so many hands where I would draw it in my opening hand, but the other 6 cards were fine, so it's essentially I mold to 6, because you can't play it realistically until
And like I said, the things you want to kill, like on turn 3, like you normally pick off a couple Absence Pilgrims or Lane Orels, you're not really doing that in this format, so it doesn't really even have that effect. But you do have 2 copies of Mizzy Mortars we talked about, then just the basic land package, all of the duels, and 1 copy of Keswick Front.
I haven't drawn it today.
That seems fine. I know some in the States were playing 2 copies. I'm not sure at what point it becomes a strain on your mana.
It's like with Olivia, basically Olivia, like you need the double black and you need red.
Yeah, I don't like playing more than 1 myself. That, of course, assuming I would ever play Standard. So.
Well, you love Standard, I know.
I like Standard. It's just so hard to keep track.
Yeah, that was a
top of.
pretty sick overload of Mizzy Mortars in the last game.
We were wondering if you were going to do that or if you were going to sever the bloodline. Both of them would be pretty dominant. But yeah, so
to go ahead and overload the mortars.
Yeah, it seemed like kind of obvious because even though we couldn't see the mortars in your hand, the way you were ramping, it seemed like you're trying to get to 6 pretty quick. It seemed like the play. So looking at your sideboard here, 2 Rakdos Charm. What's your?
All right, that one's a little crazy. I played those to exile graveyards. Right now, obviously, I haven't played against any reanimator decks. It's good against tokens too. I mean, you can use the mode that just deals 1 to them for each creature they have. That can just kill them. So I haven't ever thought about using it for
Torment Script with an upside.
Yeah.
Okay, seems fine. 2 Naturalize.
I love the card. That's the only reason I'm playing it. It's like one of my favorite cards in Standard. I don't know why. It hits an Anthem. Like, I didn't want to play Ancient Grudge because there aren't enough artifacts for me to play Ancient Grudge.
Also Detention Sphere.
Yeah, it hits the Sphere, it hits the Anthems.
And then you're also playing 2 copies of Dead Weight, so I assume that's the kind of card you bring in the last matchup.
Yeah, I brought that one in. I cut the 2 Rakdos. There was a bunch of stuff. Like, I wanted to bring in my Duresses too, but I went ahead and left those out because it was pretty creature heavy. And
in that point, you're bringing in Duresses simply because a Duress is like a healing salve at that point.
Yeah,
you're just stripping a Brimstone Volley and trading a Duress for 5 life.
Yeah, I bring in the Dead Weights against aggro decks like that, especially Falkenrath Aristocrat.
Sure.
That's one of the only ways to really kill her if I can't steal her.
You are playing 2 Thundermaw Hellkite. There have been 2 copies of Thundermaw Hellkite of every deck that's won on campus so far. So a little thought about that. Obviously, it's anti-tokens. I would think it beats the favorable winds decks, which is a real deck. We've seen it. It's in today.
It's actually a deck I want to play eventually. The Esper Spirit deck.
Yeah, and it's I imagine Thundermaw Hellkite just blocks the heck out of a lot of things too.
Oh yeah, I mean he's also just like the over-the-top aggro that you sometimes need.
Yeah,
like just wiping out Resto Angels.
Yeah, I guess if you really want to shift into some kind of beatdown plan, I guess that's the best way you could do it.
Sometimes you need to.
And then at the bottom here, we see what I would imagine are the more anti-control cards. You got 2 Underworld Connections. Bring that in against control for the grindy matches. 1 Staff of Nin.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Pretty fun card there.
Yeah, I saw it in
You pulled that one out of the EDH deck and shug it right in.
Yeah, just right on in.
Now is it foil or
is it the promo?
It's the regular one, not the promo. I'm sorry.
Is that you bringing that in the control matchup as well? Just to draw cards well. And then finally 1 copy of Slaughter Games.
Yeah,
that has a lot more versatility, but where are you really bringing it in for?
Oh, I'm bringing it in mostly against like the Miracle deck. So I just call and treat the Angels.
Because they can't. How do they win the game after that?
Exactly. Like they have to have like the Tameo that lives. That ultimates into Thought Scour of Polar Flip.
And for those of you unfamiliar with the Red, White, and Blue Miracles that Kane's talking about, basically runs 3 copies of Entreat the Angels as its only win conditions. Not entirely, but it's almost all Planeswalkers after that. So if you're able to get all the Slaughter Games, which is uncounterable, correct?
Oh yeah, it's uncounterable.
And in your deck played on turn 3.
Yeah, it can be played on turn 3.
And then just basically shut them out of 90% of their strategy.
Almost all their win condition. At that point, I only have kill spells for all of the Snapcasters they play, and I only have Dreadbores for the Planeswalkers, so I don't know. Maybe I don't win after I do that. I could be wrong.
It seems like you're in a good position if you rack off a quick Slaughter game.
Round 1 I missed with it. I called and treat the Angels against Blue Eye Control, and he was playing 0.
But you missed with it But are you willing to pay 4 mana and fog yourself in turn to realize your opponent is not playing the best card against you?
I got to look through his deck post side. I knew exactly what he brought in, and I knew that if he resolved multiple Geists, he was going to win the game.
You think he decided this all out when he knew that's what you were going to do?
I mean, that's what I would do.
He had him game 1, but he's like, I know he's got slaughter games, so I'm just going to take them all out.
Just take them all out.
So just not to bring that up, so we are on our 3rd round. You said you played a Miracles deck. We just saw you play a Rakdos Aggro deck. What was the other archetype you played?
Rakdos zombies.
Okay, so just a zombies
just
build.
blue,
But no green.
black-red zombies.
Just black-red zombies. We saw that actually Brandon Hodge,
Yeah, I know.
top forward. We actually did a deck tech with him because he also won a game. He actually beat John Tata in the Swiss.
Oh, yeah?
He was dead on board. You should go back and watch it. Anyone should go back and watch our States coverage. I believe that was round 5 that put Hodge to 5-0 and he was able to double draw in the top 8. On game 3, he was dead on board. He had to draw a burn spell because he had one bump in the hand and Tata was at 5. So I had to draw a second burn spell and another bump off the top. And he goes to 5-0. And Tata has to play 2 more rounds. But to be fair, Tata did go to the finals.
Yeah, he made it to the finals.
Yeah.
Hodge only made it to top 4.
Yeah, he actually lost to Hunter Sumter, who was playing green black zombies in the top 4. Because Hunter's deck can kind of morph into more of a control deck. If you wanted to.
Is he still main decking Deathrite Shaman?
All 4 of them. Yeah. I was very surprised
That's
too.
a pretty scary card.
I was pretty surprised too, but it has a lot of incidental value for those of you not familiar with Deathrite Shaman. Basically 3 modes. I can bring it up, I guess. I need to switch this card viewer to this other page so that I don't have to keep switching back to the other one. But Deathrite Shaman is a card that was, if you've been watching the Pro Tour Return of Ravnica coverage, this was the first card cast during that. Says all the Channel Fireball guys are on Jund there as well. But see, basically it has 3 modes. You exile a land to generate mana. Very relevant in Modern with fetch lands. Relevant in Legacy even. Not that I would necessarily play it. Exile instant or sorcery card. Each opponent loses 2 life. That's how Hunter was using. He beat Tad in 1 game just by. That's your burn in this deck. Is to be able to go to the gnome. And then you can also gain life by removing a creature card, which is not irrelevant considering how many aggressive decks there are in the format. And the fact that one thing people most don't realize is you can remove it from any graveyard.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So in that case, you get incidental value off of it because you can, in response to a Snapcaster Mage, you can bin something like that. You can get rid of Grave Crawlers, you can get rid of Gerald's Messengers. It is not an inconsequential card. It's also not 1/1, which it took me a long time to figure out.
Yeah,
it's 1/2,
I heard that he Tragic Slipped his Deathrite Shaman and exiled the Tragic Slip out of his yard to deal lethal 2 or something?
In one of the, that was in one of the play, I think you're talking about one of the pictures that was on Facebook.
Yeah.
There was a picture that we took, and by all means go to facebook.com/ZachSalesMagic for more fun pictures. But they were playtesting against Max's 4-color control deck, or 3-color at the time, and that's how he ended up winning the game. Was he used a Tragic Slip with non-morbid on his Deathrite Shaman just so he could get it in the bin so that he could exile it and do the final 2 damage.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is a pretty good little guy there. It is an elf, so it does have some synergies with some strategies.
I didn't even realize it was an elf.
Yeah, so pretty cool little guy.
Yeah, he was in my side deck. I decided I wouldn't think I would see too many control decks here.
Would that be in place of the Rakdos Charms?
Probably, honestly. Yeah. If I expected way more control, I would probably put Deathrite Shaman in. Plus, he's a body. I mean, he can attack if need be.
Yeah. He is a dude.
But if they're at 1 with
honest. Yeah, more than anything, just attacking Planeswalkers. So, anyway, we got about 10 minutes left here. We'll take a break here and see if I can sort out some technical issues. But Kenny, congratulations. Can you double draw in at 3?
I hope so.
I don't understand the math. Like I've mentioned before, despite being like a professional engineer with a 4-year degree, I can't do the round math. I have no idea. It's like a hot mess.
I would think I can.
Office, Kevin can't do math. When
involves ties,
he can do perfect math.
So, inadvertent plug for The Office. Check it out on your DVR from this week. Kenny, congratulations. I'm sure we'll see you in the top 8. Thanks for talking to us. Best of luck. Now you can send it to your grandma or whatever. You can be an internet celebrity. It's a great.
I'm the biggest internet celebrity, and I mean that in 2 ways.
We're going to take a quick break. Like I said, we'll be back. We do have, I got them right here, 3 months of Star City Premium. I will only give away if we get 30 people on the stream. So work your methods of social media to make that happen. Then we also do have a giveaway for. We do also have some Restoration Ancient promo to give away later too, as well as our rock paper scissors playset giveaway on Twitter currently. So stick with us. We'll be back in about 10 minutes for round 4 of Star City Games Invitational Qualifier from CharCon.